Hello, hi students. This is Dr. Karen Perez, and we're still talking about the APA format, and we're still on the title page. In our last video, we covered the running head, and so today we'll be talking about the rest of the title page. And I know sometimes students use the word cover page interchangeable with title page, but the appropriate name is of that is the title page. So let's get into it. So the title should be a summary, or should be it should summarize your main idea. Let me put it like that. Your title should summarize your main idea. In the sixth edition, they had limitations on the amount of characters that can be used in the title. However, in the seventh edition, there is no limitation. In the sixth, that said 12 characters. However, in the seventh, there's none. So also, it should be bold. Your title should be bold. It should be about 3 to 4 spaces from the top margin, and then you start writing your title. It should be concise, and concise so that when individuals are searching for a topic such as yours, it is easily retrievable or seen. So you need to avoid unnecessary words in the title like methods and results. The paper should be in a title case format. And what that means is that you're using a mixture of upper and lower cases. So all the words, the beginning of each word would be in uppercase. Like, for example, critical thinking, the in lowercase, but the nursing and the concept analysis and so forth will begin with the uppercase. And that's what it means by should be in a title case. Now, the title should be bold and center, and it should be, as I said, 3 to 4 spaces from the top margin. Also, too, if an animal name is used in the title, then the scientific name should be written out in parentheses and it should be italic. Avoid using abbreviation and write the word out instead of using abbreviation. This allows the reader to better understand the meaning of the word, because one abbreviation may have multiple different meanings. Now, the author's name, it's also called the byline. It should be one double space between the title and the author's name. Again, according to APA 7, there should be one double space between the author's name and the title. So keep in mind, when you're writing the title, you need to be consistent in how you're writing your name. If you're going to use Michael Perez only, be consistent in all your publication or in all your paper, Michael Perez. If you're going to use Michael L. Perez, then be consistent in using the L. Don't use Michael Perez sometimes, then use Michael L. Perez another time, or use ML Perez. Be consistent. This will allow librarians and other people to identify your work as you, because there may be other Michael Perez's out there. Also, too, if the author changed their names during their education or during their career, then that name, if their name was Perez and now they've changed it to Danvers, then be consistent in Michael Danvers, Michael Danvers, Michael Danvers, or Michael L. Danvers. So be consistent in how you're writing your byline, which is the author's name. So if there is one author, the author should be centered and in standard font. The author name should not be bold and it should not be italic. Now, if there is more than one author, then it should be separated by a comma. Or if there is more than 2 authors, then you will have and at the end before the last author. So again, if you have 2 authors, then it will be separated by a and. If you have 3 authors, you have the name, comma, comma, then before the last author, you will write the word and. So if multiple authors write the name according to their contribution, And again, if you have an author whose name who have a suffix, then the suffix should be written with one space from the rest of the name as indicated here, and then a period. There should not be a comma between the author's name and then the suffix. Okay. Now, school affiliation. And this is for students when you're writing your paper and then you have the title, the author's name, then we have the school affiliation. So the affiliation identifies where the author worked or where they study. If it's for publication, then if it's a school, then they'll put their school. If it's for a student, then the same remains. They'll put the name of the school. If two institutions actually contributed to the paper, then both should be included on the paper, and there should be no more than two affiliation per author. So if you have two authors, then there will be four affiliation if they both have two. If there's more than two affiliations, it should not be on the paper. Only no more than two affiliations per author. Now, so here's an example. We have critical thinking, the title, we have the author's name, and then we have the school. So you want to have the department first, which is School of Nursing. It could be sociology, it could be psychology, and then you have a comma, and then you have the name of the university. So it should be the department first, then the name of the university. So sometimes there you have hospitals that are academically affiliated and some that are not. So if the hospital has no university association or any kind of laboratory with it, then what you do is you will write the name of the department, the name of the organization, and then you write the location. Now, for private practices, you should include their location, the city, the state, the province or territory and country, and do not abbreviate the city, state, province, nor the territory. You want to write it out. So, the next line, you should have the class name and actually the class number. So the class number and the title comes after the affiliation. So in this case, we have, for example, Michael Perez, College of Nursing, Miami University. Then we have the class number, and then with a colon, then the name of the class. Now, for the professor's name, we recommend that you ask the professor what they would like to be called or how they would like their name to be written. But for me, you could look at the documents, you could look at my syllabus, you could look at my communication with you and see how I write my name. Or when I send you an email, how do I sign it? Do I have, Dr. Perez? Do I have Professor Perez? So for me personally, student can look at my communication with them to see how I identify myself. For others out there, reach out to your instructor and find how is it that you'd like your name be written. Now, the date of submission, it is require that the date be put on the paper, and this section especially for students. Now, not necessarily for manuscript for publication. So it should be written using the assignment due date. So you should have the month, the year, and also too the date should be written in the country that where they're at and how the format in which they write their date in that particular country. So usually you may have February 19, 2020 or 19 February 2020. So again, it is written, the date is normally written in the format in which in the country in which the document or the assignment is completed. And remember, on the paper, it should be the due date that's on the paper. Now, the author's note. This is not required for students, but again, check with your instructor to see if they would like an author's note on their title page. So what is it that's in the title note? You will have the study registration information there, data sharing there, disclaimer or statement regarding any kind of conflict of interest noted in the author's note on the title page. Again, most of the time this is used for manuscript that have been sent out for publication. For student, the author's note is not necessarily required, but then again, please check with your instructor. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for tuning in.